Welcome everybody to Ryan's Outdoor Media. This week we're going to Louisiana where Jamie is going to do some interviews and learn about some different things with aquatic plants, invasive species. We got all kinds of stuff going on, so enjoy the show.
Hello Hunt Channel TV. Thanks for tuning in today. This is Jamie Carrere with Ryan's Outdoor Media, coming to you from Bayou, Louisiana in Assumption Parish. You guys are tuning in for something quite special. I'm here today with Mr. Ira Patureau Jr., and he has a plethora of information in store for us. Mr. Patureau is going to be talking to us about the decline of duck hunting in the state of Louisiana. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Ira.
Well, I've been living in South Louisiana for 37 years. Born and raised here. Lived here all my life, right here in the swamp, Bayou State. I've been an avid hunter, duck, deer, squirrel, rabbit, everything. I'd like to talk a little bit about the decline, or should I say the state we're in of duck hunting in Louisiana as a whole, not just South Louisiana, but I think I'll be speaking for more people than just people in the southern part. So I started duck hunting. I was born in '84. Probably started seeing some time in a duck blind around '88, '89. Started shooting in probably 1990, and duck hunting was fabulous in South Louisiana. All green timber hunting in flooded timber, duckweed, swamp. And man, we really did good. We killed them good all the way up into the late 90s. Then there was a big downturn. Man, we had a few things kind of working against us. First thing I say that we saw down here that kind of turned our ducks' nose up was the invasion of common salvania, which took over our swamp.
What is common salvania?
Common salvania is an invasive species it basically floats on top of the water and it moves about, with the ebb and flow of tide. And we probably saw the salvania show up here in the early to mid 90s in the canals. It didn't really start affecting the takeover of the duckweed till probably in the late 90s. It really inundated our swamp.
And let's let the viewers know duckweed is
a native duck food. Ducks love it. All ducks love it. Mallards, gray ducks, teal, wood ducks. It's #1 duck food.
And before the invasive species, it was abundant.
Oh, it was abundant. All these swamps right here, this water you see in, was basically covered in duckweed. And we would hunt right here in these little holes until the salvania moved in, which was threat #1.
Do we know what brought the salvania?
We do not. It could came in the fur trade. It could have came, aquatic plants through aquariums. I'm gonna talk about the salvania first, but we'll go into the apple snails. Mm-hmm. And this is a product of apple snails. No feed. You see that.
Now that Iris told us about the aquatic invasive species of salvania, he's going to tell us about another challenge that South Louisiana faces.
So in the last 10 years, we've had apple snails move in on us. Apple snails have been a real challenge for us. They do not discriminate what they eat. They eat anything green. Good duckweed, they eat salvania, water lettuce, water hyacinth, hydrilla, milfoil, naiad, everything good and bad. So the challenge we face today is, even if we had some native duckweed starting to make a comeback in some of these swamps, the apple snails have just demolished any opportunity that the duckweed has had. As you can see right here behind us, this was once duckweed, then Sylvania took over, and it was matted float with cyperus and just a muck layer of float mass. Apple snails have came in and just demolished everything from the duckweed, the Sylvania, the float, and now we're back to just blackwater swamp. Not good. No duck food here for them.
Okay, now that we've talked about the invasive species of Sylvania, Ira's gonna take us where?
So I'll go show you a place that the apple snails, which is a recent invasive species that has invaded us. Probably, I'm not sure, timeline gets lost. It's probably been here about 8 or 10 years that we've seen them in my part of South Louisiana.
And where are you gonna take us next?
So we'll go look at old duck blind and a little duck hole where we hunted some ducks. That was once full of duckweed, and it transitioned from duckweed to Sylvania and is now reverted back to open water due to the apple snails coming in and just demolishing it.
Okay, that sounds great.
So we'll go take a look at that.
We're gonna take you guys along with us.
Let's go.
Okay. Hey guys, I pulled the audio from this clip just based on how loud it was overall, but you can see that me and my gear are getting pretty beat up. That is a kingfisher that we're following.
We'll turn around back here, then we'll go to my other spot, the pool ball run.
Sounds good. Here we are a little ways down the bayou, and Ira's going to show us some apple snails.
So what we got here, this is an old duck hole. We probably haven't hunted in this duck hole since 2000. This was solid, taken over solid by Sylvania and float mass. Probably in the last 8 to 10 years when the apple snails showed up, this is slowly reverted to open water with just a mud bottom. We don't have any food. I mean, no chance for a duck to come land in here. Apple snails have pretty much wiped out all the feed, and we've got a few apple snails shells right here, wiped it out. We've got a little egg mass. You can see apple snails lay thousands of eggs. One snail lay thousands of eggs. So yeah, just no chance. It's just our next big challenge in South Louisiana, the apple snails. And we've just seen some limpkins move into our area. Limpkins are non-native as well, but they follow the food chain. They're here to eat these apple snails, so we really don't know where that's going to go, what's the end of the road for us as far as fighting apple snails. So,
But Mother Nature answered by sending the limpkin.
Limpkins followed and came right on in. Like I said, apple snails are probably here in this area for about 8 years now, and limpkins have only been here for about a year.
So they have a lot of time to make up for it.
So we have got just one of the many challenges facing South Louisiana.
Female, right?
Yeah. It's hard to tell right now because they don't have their colors.
I didn't realize they lose them.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That was a female wood duck, I bet. Those are limpkins, and this little one is a kingfisher.
See the solid matting on
Mm-hmm.
the water?
That's the Salvania.
Well,
What are we looking at?
so what we got here, this is a product right behind me. This, throughout the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, this was solid duckweed swamp. Just beautiful green duck seed. Once the Salvania moved in back here, you know, it started as just a little piece of floating plant, floated in here, and it made a floating mat of Salvania. Then other native and non-native species grew on top of that Salvania and just caused basically a field for anything to grow on top of it. You got myrtle wax growing in here. You got cyperus. You've got, see if I can get some fouchette right here. A little bit of fouchette. Everybody knows what that is. No good for ducks. But once all of this took over, I mean, there's no place, not even a place for a duck to land back here. I mean, this is just nothing. Just a dead and dying swamp.
Is it passable by boat?
No, airboat only. We used to run a 9-horse mud boat back here in this swamp, and you need 500 horsepower airboat to get back to our duck line now. It's just a shame. It's just part of the process. This swamp we're sitting in right here probably is about a 10,000 acre piece here, but it's adjoined in total probably about 100,000 acres of swamp that used to hold wintering waterfowl. You know, ducks would go out and feed on the coast of Louisiana from Cameron Parish all the way to Venice, and a lot of those ducks would come in here and roost in here. I mean, we would be paddling to the blind in the morning, and hundreds of thousands of ducks would be getting out of these trees.
Jeez.
Just heading out. Yeah, it gives me chills just thinking about what it used to be. Just sad my kids won't ever get to see it. I don't think, not in my lifetime.
At least here.
I don't think there's an answer to it. Just times going by. This was the good old days when we were killing ducks back here in this timber.
So you were saying the apple snail eats the Salvania,
Yeah,
but
so-
also eats all the native.
So we've got the apple snails have recently moved in. This stuff is so thick in here, it's gonna take them a while to eat it. We've got some other places I'll bring you and show you where was duckweed reverted to Salvania. Apple snails that came in probably in the last 10 years, within the last 10 years, and they eat anything green. This stuff here, I don't know if they'll ever make it eaten back into this swamp to get it back to open water. But we do have some places apple snails have cleaned out entirely just to a dust bottom. I mean, no duckweed, no anything.
So is there any duck hunting here?
There is probably 5 to 10 efforts a year, maybe, just for a few local wood ducks, maybe, but nowhere near. We've got few blinds on this, and we used to kill 400 to 600 birds a year per blind back here, and we might have killed 10 wood ducks per year in the last 15 years, maybe. It's just been pitiful. It's pitiful.
Thanks for taking us out on the boat today, Ira, and for talking to us about the challenges of South Louisiana duck hunting. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. My pleasure. I don't know. We got a long road ahead of us as duck hunters here in South Louisiana. I don't think nobody really has the true answer or what's in store for us for the future, but we can only hope it can only get better from here, I'll tell you that.
Well, thank you for the fun day.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks for watching this week's episode. Join us next week, guys, as we do another adventure with Ryan's Outdoor Media. Thanks.